Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is going to be my RLCS Season 5 LAN, the LAN Dawn recap. I tweeted earlier today, I said gonna record a video later just talking about RLCS as an event and the experience as a whole. If there's anything specific that you guys want me to talk about or cover or give my opinion on, then let me know here. Cheers, or something to that effect. And quite a lot of you replied, so I'm gonna go down the list and talk about the things that you guys have asked me to talk about. And then also a couple of other things. But if you get anything else that you want to know about LAN and anything else you want to know about RLCS Season 5, then let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to answer there as well. But let's get right into it because there's a lot of responses. First from @StumpyGoblin. How you doing, Hen? He says chants. So besides the Johnny boy nose chant, which we all had to put up with. I couldn't believe when I looked back at the stream and that was actually audible. My favorite chants were probably the Pirates of the Caribbean chant for Corrupted G. I thought that was hilarious. The Kid Up chant was amazing. Squishy Muffins chant was very funny. Squishy Muffins, they sell you at Greg's. And then Metsonora's chant was also one of my favorites. They're the ones that come to mind first of all. Also, the Dignitas chant was really cool. I'll talk more about chanting further on. That's all I'm going to say about chanting right now. I'm just going to say those are my favorites because I know a lot of other people ask about chanting in a bit more specific manner. So let's move on to the next one. @ZedZilmi says the history of NA versus EU Grand Finals possibly in relation to all LANs, not just World Championship. Okay, so this is a bit more of a wider question than just RLCS, but yes, the NA versus EU rivalry does extend to Grand Finals of Majors, and before, well, this is actually the second time I should say that EU has beaten NA in a major LAN Grand Final. The first one was PSG over G2 at DreamHack Leipzig in January. However, NA have never won a LAN on EU soil, so there's two things. They've got the, I think right now, a winning record over EU in LAN Grand Finals, but they've never won one on EU soil, so we got to remember that. I did think NRG were going to win this one, and I was close, but not quite right. I'll gladly take that L, though, because it was a fantastic series. All right, let's move on. So we got @KKKKJuan. What do you think C9 lacks to be able to reach the top again? Do you think roster change is needed? I don't think a roster change is needed for Cloud9. I think all those guys are world-class players. When I look at what other teams are doing that they're not doing, the first thing that comes to mind is getting loud, getting excited, actually using your adrenaline to your advantage. That would probably be my suggestion for Cloud9. They just need to try and give it a go, because I think that could really shake things up. Maybe give them some more comeback potential in series that they're struggling with. Okay, we've got @VirtuosoX. Who do you think underperformed and who overperformed at LAN? Okay, let's just talk about teams. I'm not going to go into players right now, but teams that underperformed, you've got Vitality, Envy, and G2. I personally thought they were all going to finish higher than they did. I thought they were all going to make the final day, and none of them did. And who overperformed, I've got EG, Chiefs, Complexity, and Tainted Minds in that category. Obviously, EG, Chiefs, and Complexity did make the final day. I didn't think that they were going to do that. I thought Complexity were, but then immediately get eliminated, I think. Tainted Minds did not make day 3. However, they did win games this time, which I didn't think they were going to take Envy close at all. So that for me is them overperforming. They should be very happy with that. Okay, let's move on now. We got I want to know how a hive of bees would defend against an intruding Dignitas team from @Special1. I think a hive of bees would annihilate Dignitas. There's not really any discussion there to be had. The next question @MoochPage says, was the LAN a success? Why it seems a lot of people keep saying the game is dead when people continue to play and watch the game. The reason why people say Rocket League is dead, well, one, it's a meme, and two, is because they compare it to Fortnite and other games like League of Legends that are massive, and of course those games are much bigger. But anyone who's paying attention to RLCS and to Rocket League Esports will know it's far from dead. In fact, it's attracting lots of attention worldwide. ESPN tweeted out the final goal that Justin, or the second last goal of the event that Justin scored, and that obviously got seen by a lot of people. There's a lot of big esports figures as well, just giving feedback and saying, oh my goodness, I need to get into Rocket League. So yeah, Rocket League's far from dead. I think there's just been a lot of players playing Battle Royale games recently, and that's obviously made a hit to some of Rocket League's views here and there. and maybe reduce the player base, but I wouldn't worry about it personally. All right. Next is at Thornton Taylor says, I would like to hear how you personally rank the teams and players. Okay, obviously that would take quite a while to do everybody, but I will give my top 3 teams and my top, and then I'll talk about a few players. So top 3 teams, obviously, I would just say is the order that came first, second, third. Dignitas, Energy, Complexity. They looked like a clear first, second, third, in my opinion. The only team that I think could have maybe split that up, who weren't at this LAN, is probably Flipside Tactics, because they've had a good winning record over Dignitas recently. The only team who have a winning record over Dignitas recently. So they would have maybe been able to break up that top 3 a little. But obviously they didn't qualify because they lost to Envy, who have had a winning record against them. But yeah, that's the teams. Players, I would say Garrett G is probably my pick for best player in the world at the moment. Just the most consistent performer over the weekend. The only other player that I would have in that argument is Turbo Pulsar right now. He's 3-time world champion. People have been asking me recently, what's your dream team if you could make one? So if I'm only allowed one player from any current roster maximum, I would definitely pick Garrett, definitely pick Turbo. And then I probably want Magnus because I'm picking up somebody from Complexity, or just throw Cuxer in the mix, see what happens, because getting Cux back to LAN is definitely something we need to do. I do think that for RLCS, Turbo is probably the MVP for this LAN. K-Dot was awarded an MVP, and you can make a case for K-Dot, you can make a case for anyone in Dignitas, or even Justin for clutching that equalizer and having a fantastic debut performance. Remember, he's a rookie and he performed incredibly well. But yeah, I think Garrett overall was the most consistent player, the one who impressed me, and easily, in my opinion, the best North American LAN player ever in Rocket League. Let's see what else we got here. We got was the LAN a success? Oh wait, sorry, I've already read that one. So next is actually Debro says, well, actually just a bunch of comments here. Set up the venue earlier. Yes, that would probably be a good idea. Announce earlier would also be a good idea. Pay for big personalities like Subpar to show up. Yeah, the Subpar but an HD community, Team 104, maybe strategically placing them around the crowd rather than having them all together would be a good idea. To help the crowd chants actually spread further around the venue, because it can be quite hard to hear what a group of people are chanting over here if you're sitting very far away, whereas if they're more spread out, then it can carry further. So that might be an idea for future events. But big personalities to show up, yeah, why not have, I've spoken about this in the past, but I think we can, I say it partly selfishly here, but getting YouTubers along. I think we can all agree that having Jazer and MK freestyling on Franz during a break or something, or just John Sandman being there, I think he should definitely be paid to attend. The dude brings so much traffic to RLCS, and there's lots of other people in that category as well. Fill up the venue with sponsors like a Real Football Arena. Yeah, why not? Custom items and colors in LAN build, match team colors to appropriate colors. Yes, that is definitely something I can get behind. If you have Dignitas against G2, Dignitas should probably be on the orange team because they're a very yellowy, fiery logo, and then G2 is a very dark logo. And team logos and banners in game, that's a little bit less RLCS related, but something I could definitely get behind as well, both just to support players financially and also as a fan service. I think that's definitely something that Psyonix should do, and I know that they are looking into that. Talk about your first ever IRL sub, says at TugginRL. Yeah, that was pretty funny. So a lot of people came up to say hi to me at RLCS, and that is amazing. You guys were awesome, and I appreciate that very much. But Tuggin whipped out his phone and says, how do I sub to you on Twitch? So I showed him how to do it. If you need a tutorial on how to subscribe to me on Twitch, then don't hesitate to ask. I'll gladly help you with that, even in person. We got at Hauka Gabriel. Changes his seeding system. OCE showed they're not 9th and 10th seed anymore. Needs to be a UEFA style seeding across multiple majors so teams have a long lasting coefficient. Yes, definitely in the future. I would say for RLCS Season 6, if we want to just base it only on RLCS and no other events, I think OCE's first seed for RLCS Season 6 should go into the LAN bracket as 5th seed, because that's where Chiefs finished this LAN. They finished 5th, 6th equal, but EG were the other 5th, 6th equal team, and Chiefs beat them on day one. So I think Chiefs getting 5th place overall is fair enough. Then you'd give EU top seed, NA 2nd seed, EU 3rd seed, NA 4th seed, OCE 5th seed, NA 6th seed. Then you'd have NA EU 7th, 8th, and then EU OCE 9th, 10th in whatever order. I think that would be fair. EU versus NA crowds. Yeah, obviously the EU crowd is much lighter. I think the best tips I can give for NA crowds in the future is just, actually chant for both teams, chant for every goal, have chants for every player, have chants for every team, cheer when nothing's happening, actually make noise instead of being shy. However, I don't look at this as a rivalry. NA versus EU is a big rivalry in Rocket League, big rivalry in Esports, big rivalry in general. I don't think that it needs to become a rivalry. If which crowd could be better at which LAN, let's just try and make the next one better, wherever it is. And I think everybody that was cheering at RLCS in London will be on board to cheer wherever it is, even if it's in America, wherever. I think those people, if you take them to another venue, they're still going to be making noise. They weren't only making noise to make London look better, to make UK look better. They're just doing it because that's how you should do it. If you're in the crowd, if you're in the crowd, your job is to make the experience the best for the players and just to have a good time. You're gonna have a better time if you do get involved. But yeah, I think EU can sort of teach NA. We're willing to teach NA how to become better crowds. Which players underperformed? I think I'll pass on blaming players here specifically for now though. But it is a good question. Probably not going to go into that right now. At Fusion, Nick says the bracket specifically why no OC teams are versus EU rank 1 in their second game. Yeah, that is something I talked about before as well. So good question, but I covered it already. The idea that's an arena, yes, I think the arena is fantastic. At it's ESBN. I think the arena style is ideal rather than a theater style because you get much better atmosphere. You can have mixing waves. You can. Obviously you can do that in theatre as well, just going round in a different way. But I think, everybody really enjoyed the arena style. I think it was perfect for Rocket League. We've got the skill gap between NA and EU from @Flacco772. This is something I talk about in stream a lot because people always ask it. At the very top level, I think we can all see NA and EU are pretty close. So we had a very close series between NRG and Dignitas in the grand final. However, EU has more depth of talent. There's more teams in EU that could do a lot of damage at an RLCS than there are in NA. Who underperformed and who surpassed your expectations? Covered that already at Ali B. At RLCS Fanboy 97 says Fireburner criticism plus food. Well, in the venue I didn't think the food was fantastic, not gonna lie. Was not impressed by the food, but I hardly ever eat catered food when I'm at events like that. I'll just go out and buy real food if I can. Fireburner criticism, I think the Fireburner criticism is massively overdone. Yes, he did make mistakes, but so did all the other players. His mistakes did stand out more because they happened in the final game, and they had more of an effect and they're going to be remembered more. But Fireburner did play very well. I do agree he was the weakest link in the final and was the weakest performing player in NRG, but that doesn't mean he should get kicked. He did lose control of the ball in ground plays and when dribble plays, and he missed it a couple clears. That's definitely things he can work on. Those are things he can fix though. And he did some things very well. He had some very clutch shots and some very clutch passes. Probably the best passer on NRG for the entire event, especially compared to Justin, who took far too many shots. Garrett wasn't perfect, but I think he was the most consistent player. But yeah, NRG as a whole, they were one goal away from winning the entire thing. I don't think we need to kick Fireburner. The flaws are very fixable. They're smart players. They're very hardworking. I'm looking forward to seeing them in the future. All right, so we've got at Malganar says you can talk about Envy as a whole, maybe go into detail on some of the players and their recent performances. Okay, well, for Envy as a whole, communication seemed non-existent. iGnite for his debut was decent, but I expected more from him. I know he also did, so he'll be quite disappointed. Remco looked impressive. It's good to see Remco looking good again. Devo had flashes of brilliance, but he was very boost heavy and didn't do enough with the boost he was demanding. So that's my TLDR on Envy. I think they definitely need to change something. So I've talked a lot about chants. I've covered a lot of these questions that are coming up a few times. So just to go into a bit more detail on the crowd. So Adrian of Cali says, why was London crowd so hyped compared to other seasons? How can we have more of this? I need more of this. He says, oh, actually I just read off this twice. But yeah, he says about the crowd, why is it so hype? It's just UK football culture and alcohol. That's pretty much it. This is what those those fans are used to doing when they go to watch football. They're just used to getting that excited and cheering for teams. But yeah, just what I talked about earlier, cheer for both teams, cheer for every goal, just make noise in general. Just have chants prepared before you go there. Look up online, see if there's threads on Reddit, if people are posting on Twitter about chants and things that they're going to do for players and teams. Because no doubt it's going to be more prepared next time, let me tell you. At Xhead Snipes says the advancement of mechanics and meta changes. What play styles were effective, surprises and upsets? Well, let's talk about mechanics and meta briefly. So infield passes are still happening. They're still very dangerous, but they're also getting intercepted a lot more. Players are just making better reads in general, whether it's off curved walls or predicting 50-50s. And we're also seeing a lot more breaking rotation now to challenge counterattacks, to prevent counterattacks. And it's probably because of how much everybody plays 2v2. So yeah, they're getting pretty good at challenging from behind, ambushing, going for demos. That's my the things I really noticed. But yeah, Rocket League's far from the skill ceiling. There's a long way to go. Long way to go. Why did Envy and G2 not do so good, says at Turbo98. Well, I already talked about Envy, but I'll talk about G2 very briefly. They've just not really looked the same since they're crushing gnarly 2 qualifier defeats to NRG and Cloud9. JNaps doesn't look like the carry that he once was. Rizzo wasn't able to carry on his league play level. I think Rizzo is almost as good as JNaps, if not at the same level during league play. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to carry that over into the LAN. And yeah, Kronovi and Rizzo have never really looked fully capable of filling JNaps' shoes when JNaps doesn't show up. So that's the problem, is they don't have anyone who can carry when JNaps doesn't, at least on a LAN setting. Rizzo did actually do that a few times during league play this season. I think I've covered all the questions here. Let me just really quickly skim here. Yeah. Oh, Savage chants towards Cloud9. Somebody tweeted that. I can't see it on my screen, but I've got notes here. Somebody wants to know about the Savage chants towards Cloud9. It wasn't so much savage as it was just funny. The chant was Squishy Muffins. They sell you at Greg's. Greg's is a bakery chain in the UK. It's just a joke. Nothing personal. The crowd doesn't hate Squishy. In fact, they're just chanting it because they like him. And pretty much all the chants, like the Violent Panda, you're going to extinct chant. That's not like trying to get a Violent Panda and trying to irritate him. You know, it's just a bit of fun. And you're going to get a lot of that in the UK. Like teams in the UK who are going to a football match they'll sing these chants at their own player. The players are there to support their own teams. They're going to be chanting these little silly things, and the players appreciate it. It's just part of the culture. Once you realize it's nothing harmful, it's just a joke, then yeah, don't worry about it. Let's see. I don't think there's anything else to cover from Twitter. Bees would annihilate Dignitas. Yeah, we covered this. Yeah, I think we might have covered everything. I'm going to give a few more thoughts to finish off this video. And like I said when we started here, if you've got any other questions about LAN, or if you've got anything you want to know, then be sure to ask me in the comments. But yeah, just to finish off, I just wanted to thank the fans again who did go along to cheer for teams. They did really make it the best event ever. That was the standout thing for me, just the crowd atmosphere. And everybody who came to say hi to me was unbelievably supportive, unbelievably polite. I didn't have to, tell anybody to leave me alone because they're being annoying. So I really can't thank all of you enough for coming to say hi, first of all, and asking for pictures and getting stuff signed. And if you didn't see me, I'm really sorry. If you wanted to see me, that is. If you didn't see me and you didn't want to, then that's fantastic. But yeah, if you were trying to find me and you couldn't, then hopefully I'll see you in the future. Firstly, and secondly, you just got to pay attention to my Twitter, because although I'm not streaming ever when I'm at these LANs, or at least not much, and my YouTube videos are they're usually pre-recorded. I record them before I go to a LAN. Twitter is the place that I do still post live, so I'm usually tweeting a lot regarding my whereabouts at LANs, just so people have a chance to come and say hi. And I love it when you guys come and chat. It's awesome to meet the Rocket League community as a whole. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on Landon, or at least on the topics at Twitter. Rose, if you want more of these style of videos where I just ask Twitter for questions, ask you guys for questions through Twitter, then yeah, follow my Twitter, and also let me know in the comments if you want to see this again, because if you don't, then I won't do it again. But it's kind of fun just answering you guys questions, a bit of a Q&A. I've done this I think once before, so yeah, thanks for watching. And I think, actually, I'm not sure when this is going to be posted, so I was gonna try to predict what video is coming up tomorrow, but I actually have no idea, because when I'm recording this, I don't think I've even recorded tomorrow's video, or yesterday's video actually. That's a bit of a paradox there. But anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching once again. Take care.